stuck inside my head. Remembering you and I analyze all those things you said. You told me you love me, you kissed and you hugged me, then you smile and look in my eyes and tell me that you'll always be right there.
Hey y'all.
Hey,
right. For real.
How's everybody?
Yes, sir. I was over here grooving. Hey. That little music get me every time.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I need the whole thing.
Hey, Auntie.
I don't even know where I got that song from.
You always find the best songs, baby.
I gotta look.
Don't.
Actually, I think that song was on Canva.
Canva be lit. See, people be sleep.
Absolutely.
People be sleep on Canva. Yeah, man. People be asleep. My toes cold. Why is my toes cold now?
I got my blanket. It's cold outside.
It's cold
out there.
I got my blanket.
And I'm over here.
We back in winter. It's out here snowing or whatever it's doing out here.
Oh, y'all got snow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And it's like blowing snow. Like it's just going like shh.
That's scandalous.
Wait, it's snowing up there?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to snow all weekend.
I'm gonna still be outside, but you know it's snowing.
No, straight up.
Okay. Anyhow, sorry. Hey, y'all. Y'all know we always be doing a little banter at the beginning. But anywho, good evening again, beautiful peoples. We want to welcome you to another sexy, sensual, sultry episode of PGC After Dark with the crazy rich aunties. Listen, tonight we are going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about this dating scene from a different aspect. We're going to talk about it from how we show up in relationships. How do we show up in relationships? How are we triggered in those relationships, and how we can break the cycle of being triggered? And then we're also going to touch on, are women delusional? It's a lot of things that's been in the space of social media and everything that kind of makes us think that women have become a little bit delusional based on their thoughts and preferences when it comes to dating, and how they stack up or add up based on who they are as a person. So it's a lot, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna talk about it, we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna see what's what. Okay, so before we get into all of that, we got right here next to me, we got Auntie Genesis, Auntie Jen.
Until I get it right.
And then next to her, we got Auntie Michelle. Hey, girl.
Hey, girls.
And then at the bottom, right up under me, we got Auntie Lynn. Hey, girl.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning. And then right next to Auntie Lynn, we got Auntie Ayla up in this thing. Y'all better give me some energy tonight. Y'all sound
You know I'm doing my auntie thing, trying to share the shit.
Me too. That's what I was doing.
Here like,
what I'm doing.
I do this every week.
And trying to look up when I hear my name.
Yeah, you know how it be.
Oh my God, y'all me sounding dry a little bit already. We need
hey, y'all.
I need some energy. So we get this thing rolling. I know y'all said, look, I just ate before we did this, and I'm like, I shouldn't have did that.
Why would you do that?
Now I'm ready to be like,
why would you do that? I wouldn't dare.
Ready to be like this. But oh baby, because I was hungry because I ate breakfast and then I ate lunch about 1 o'clock. So it was time for another meal, or I was gonna be really starving once this was over. And I'm trying to stick to a little schedule, little something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, first up, let's see what we gonna talk about. I think I had. Oh, here we go. Here's one video that we could start with.
You could be the perfect motherfucker for the wrong person. That is so true. Ain't shit wrong with you. You just not with the right motherfuckers who don't appreciate your fullness.
To the point, okay? To the point.
They call him the sensei. That's Carlos Miller, the sensei.
Mm-hmm. Carlos be sitting that shit though.
Carlos be dropping some random jewels. You be like, it'd be funny, but you be like, you know what? Wait a minute.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So what y'all think about what he said?
I agree. I feel like a lot of us have been a right person for a bunch of wrong motherfuckers before.
A bunch.
Yeah.
I mean,
not a bunch.
Yeah, for sure.
A whole bunch.
A whole slew up.
Whole bunch.
You gotta go through a whole bunch of rotten apples before you find that right one.
Man.
I'm starting to wonder, are they all rotten hell at this point? Because, baby. Baby.
Me and my violent self want to pick the apple up and throw it at you.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Like y'all talking about apples, and then here I go eating one.
Yeah, I'm gonna
don't
cut
eat
this
that
damn
apple. Don't
up.
eat it. Don't eat the apple.
Got what's wrong with us now.
Cut that apple up and bake that bit.
Maybe put in a
baked
pie.
Apples, that do sound good.
No,
do.
Honey, saute.
Hey, Fujila. Hey,
Fujila.
Hey, Fujila.
Hey.
Listen, so I totally agree with what he said, even though it was short and simple and to the point. Like a lot of times we show up as our full selves, and everybody does not have the capacity to receive us at our fullest. A lot of us have done the healing, a lot of us have done the work, and we're not. And I want to make sure that I put this out there as well. When we say we are healed or healing, that don't mean we ain't got a journey of healing ahead of us. You know what I'm saying? People always get the misconception that when you say healed or healing, that means that you completed your journey and you ain't got no more healing to do. Nah, baby, healing is a journey within itself to figure out where you are, what your things are, and then how to process it, clear it out, all that good stuff. Yeah. But don't ever mistake somebody saying that they are healed or healing or on their healing journey as something that they've completed or finished already. So, but a lot of us have come to an understanding of who we are and where we are in the space that we're in. And so sometimes it's hard for people to receive you as your full self. Yeah. And it's hard trying to explain you. And I say that because it's hard for me to explain me to people. Like, you just got to experience it. Like, I can't tell you about me. You just got to experience it. Because, like, I can tell you all
on the ride.
Yeah, like, I can tell you about all the things about me. But until you get on, like you said, until you get on the ride and try it out for yourself, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
It's hard being a big personality that loves it, all the other kind of shit. It's hard. Because you don't know how you sometimes be trying to dim your light a little bit because you like, can you handle it? Nope.
Is it too much?
Yeah, is it too much?
Yeah. You always question it, like if you're too much or if you're doing too much or if you're showing up too much. But it's like, no, I'm not doing too much and I'm not showing up too much or none of that. I'm showing up as myself.
That's
right.
And that you might not just have the capacity to receive me in my fullest self. And that's okay. That just means the capacity, the role I need you to fill, it ain't meant
You're
for
not
you
gonna
to.
be able to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's good to let them know that early, like, hey, this ain't working out. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not
Hey, boo.
that compatible. Like we thought.
Hey,
I don't have a mouth voice. Hey, Ramita.
Not you trying to put a deep voice on for.
okay.
Because that's what the mouth always do. You hear?
That's funny.
Cause she over here being crazy.
That's funny.
But that's what the mouth do every time when Ramita comment.
Mm-hmm.
He put on that deep voice for
So do you dial back your fullness?
I don't even know what the hell that looks like. Okay? No. I don't even know how to dial it back. Like, it's like sometimes I be, let me be cool. Let me.
I used to.
Walk in here cool.
I used to.
But I am not the person that can remain cool to like real calm. I can't do that. Cause the minute I see somebody I know, I be like, something like that. And so when I show up in a relationship, I show up the same like this. And sometimes it is hard for people to receive it because they be like, "Are you like this all the time?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to let it out slowly.
It gets worse when I know you personally.
Bye bye.
I mean, it become a whole different level when I know you personally, like for real.
It's like a whole production.
Yeah, it's like even the more because I'm comfortable with you, so I can I can let my weirdness out then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Weirdness.
No judgment. You can just
judge it
yourself. Just
Oh no, I do have weirdness.
I mean, here's the thing: the weirdness, though. At least this is my personal opinion because when I know you, and then but on top of that, I just feel like weirdness makes things more fun.
Hell yeah.
So if you can't be weird or accept the weirdness, then you need to. That means you're no fun. I'm not doing nothing to hurt you or harm you.
You are
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm the girl that put on random pieces of clothing while I'm cleaning up. So I might come downstairs with some leggings on, some drawers on top, a graduation cap, and a cape. Who knows? Like that's just some shit I happen to pick up
together on the top of your head.
Because if I'm cleaning up,
yeah, absolutely,
I have. I have. Like,
especially the cape.
I've literally had on a wig, a fedora, and a graduation cap. I mean, a graduation gown cleaning up. Because I was like, oh, let me see if I still fit this. And I put it on. And then, I just walked around with it on.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I'm the person that I am. Like, I expect you not to look at me weird because I came downstairs with that on. Like, I expect you to just be like,
okay, whatever.
Just know that.
Have your way.
That's my girl. I'm gonna stick beside her.
Right. No.
It's
exactly.
Two couples that
I'm a woman, and I'm gonna stick beside her. That's all I need you to say.
It's two couples that I follow on social media. One is on TikTok, and the other one I want to say is on Instagram. The one on TikTok is a white couple, and she sleepwalks. So they put cameras around the house to see when she sleep, when she just does like weird stuff.
Yeah.
And the husband, he just embraces it. He just kind of laughs at it and he records her. And then she does like weird stuff where she'll give him like knock jokes and he be ready to like she dresses up weird. She does all that stuff. And then the black lady, she just throwing a whole moo and she just be twerking on her husband's head.
Oh, and she be doing the dancing and stuff.
She be doing all that one I like.
The seductive moo.
I'm like, that's my spirit animal because that's gonna be me.
And they probably just sit there like this motherfucker right here. But
Right.
then they'll miss it if she ever take it away. So it's
Gonna
like,
miss it like
that
crazy.
part.
Like, you didn't twerk on me today. What's wrong?
right, what's wrong too? Like
Mhm.
my head right here.
Mhm.
Put your booty right here, please.
Right. Oh, you know, and that's the part where like you show up as your full self. Like I sometimes in this dating thing, sometimes I be scared to show up because I be like,
No, for real. Especially nowadays. Nowadays, people not as accepting as they used to be. They kind of judge quickly, like, nigga, you weird too. Like, stop fucking
Right.
me.
Right. That part. That
That's the
part.
part. I think we all have a little bit of weirdness in us, but you got to be around the right person to make it come out of you. Like I think it was a TikTok video that I saw, and it was a dude, like he did the little Snapchat thing. So, you know, like when you turn your camera around, they could show somebody like dancing or something. But it was a
Where it looks
thing
like
just
somebody's
dancing.
dancing with you.
Yeah, it was a little thing dancing. And he was like, when your girl acting goofy, and the thing was just doing shit like this, and it was just moving, and then it was the camera kept panning back to him sitting on the couch just looking at her like. And then next thing you know, they both was over there doing some goofy shit together. He was like, well, fuck it. Let me, then you just got to join in after a while. You do.
But
Why
that's the fun part
not?
of the relationship when y'all can be goofy together. That is so much fun.
If I can't be that goofy around, dude.
Listen, we don't need to be together for real. I want to be goofy as hell.
That part.
Like, I want us to have a special handshake and shit that
I do too.
I don't want to have a handshake with somebody for the longest. Like,
yes.
grabbing such stuff. I don't know. Fuck, we'll figure it out. But yeah.
Now we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
We gonna figure it out, babe.
We'll figure that out.
I saw a video the other day where the girl was trying to get her husband to take out her diva cup. And it was just so funny just watching him. He was so concerned, like, my hand's too big. I can't get it. And it's like he loves her unapologetically. And it's like there's no, like, he has no qualms about doing something like that. Any other nigga probably freak the hell out, be like, I'm not doing this shit. This nasty as hell. It's like, but you be want to be in this once it's off. So help me take this out. And then I think he pushed it up further and he walked away. And she was like, I need help. He has nails and shit, so she couldn't grip it. So yeah, they really cute. They are really cute.
Wow.
But I think it's about part of creating that space too, because a lot of guys, they don't want to open up with that goofy because they think that, oh, he's soft, or we might.
Well, you're gonna use it against them later. That's what a lot of dudes say. Like, I ain't gonna let nobody see that side of me because you're not gonna use it against me later. And sir, then why we together?
For real.
Why we doing this? If you gonna sit here and spoon feed me parts of you, no, thank you.
And if you too goofy,
which is so corny though. That is so corny.
Yeah.
I don't want no. Don't spoon feed me parts of you, nigga. Get on.
I'm a grown ass
feel like I don't know about your business, sir.
I'm a grown ass woman. I got a big appetite. Feed me all that shit. So I could do my little happy dance.
I'm trying to find that video though. That shit was hilarious. I'm gonna show it before the night is over with. With the dude with the little thing
dancing.
Okay. But knowing me, I'm pretty sure I don't know where I saw it at.
If it's on TikTok and you liked it, you can go back through that.
That's what I'm scrolling through now. Like, maybe it was TikTok. But I do think a lot of the ways that we show up, we gotta be mindful of that. And then if like it's a meme that says stop breaking yourself down into bite-sized pieces for people who cannot something and something. Hold on, let me find it.
Enjoy the entire bite.
I mean, who can't?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
can't eat it.
That nigga ain't got no teeth.
Can't eat it in one sitting.
That nigga ain't got no teeth. Then you gotta don't break that shit down. Fuck him.
No, it says stop breaking yourself down into bite-sized pieces. Stay whole and let them choke.
That
That's
part.
what
Oh,
it
Please.
That
Oh,
part.
he
wait.
Yeah.
died. He died.
If he die, he
If
die.
he
Wow.
die, he die. I thought that was the
Um,
other one.
He probably was.
hey, Miss Ayla.
He probably was.
Hey,
Hey,
mommy.
Miss Ayla.
hi, Miss Ayla. Every time your mama come up in here, I'm like, Ayla, why you up in here playing around and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Stop playing with our emotions, Ayla.
That's my
Um,
mommy.
but here is some ways. Here are some ways that the picture that we showed in the group of how you show up in relationships. Let me take this back up.
Mm-hmm.
And we all looked at it. So, how do you show up in relationships? Do you show up anxious? And that means that you
What is that?
require. Is that somebody's
Is
stuff?
somebody getting hacked?
You sound like an
I'm not
emergency
checking on
service. Like,
motherfuckers
what is
either.
Right. That's all right. Somebody got an Amber Alert.
that? Nah, for real. That's exactly what it sounds like. Too.
That's yeah. What the hell is that? I'm looking to
Lord.
make sure I'm not pushing those buttons because you know I'm being a good auntie tonight.
Auntie said I always be doing something.
I do.
But how do you show up in relationships? Do you show up anxious? And being anxious means you require frequent reassurance, hyper vigilant about shifts in the relationship and partner's behaviors, thrives on a lot of contact, calls, texts, physical, etc. Sometimes seen as clingy or needy. You struggle with boundaries, setting them and or respecting them. Strong fear of rejection and abandonment. Are you avoidant? Often has a difficult time opening up, puts up a wall when they sense a shift in the relationship or a partner's behaviors, gets uncomfortable with too much closeness or contact, sometimes seen as cold or guarded, has rigid boundaries and expectations, strong fear of rejection and abandonment. And that's one that's going across the board for how you show up in relationships. The last one, disorganized, unsure of what they want or need. Sometimes wants a lot of contact, other times wants a lot of space. You bipolar. Skeptical
Hey, call it what you want.
intentions.
Whatever.
Sometimes seen as chaotic or unpredictable. You see, the two Aquarians said that, right?
Ooh, ain't that
Demonstrates inconsistencies with boundaries, strong fear of rejection and abandonment. Or do you show up as secure, willing to express their wants or needs, trust that people usually have good intentions but not blind to red flags, recognizes the importance of both closeness and of alone time, often shows up in relationships as cooperative and flexible, has healthy and consistent boundaries, appropriately copes with occasional fear of rejection and abandonment. So, how y'all showing up, ladies?
disorganized as hell?
Oh, okay.
She said it loud and proud too.
Loud and proud. Disorganized.
She did. I am the anxious and avoidant. I'm both of those.
What?
What?
Sorry. No, I'm looking at this comment and I'm trying to see if I know this one. But I'm like, wait. I'm like, wait a damn minute now.
Comes the mom.
Come on, let the church say amen.
And I'm like, wait, I know what I see. I know I ain't seeing what I'm thinking. I'm seeing what I'm thinking.
I have to manifest my man in these comments, man. Shit.
Listen, hey, I ain't mad at you, baby. Okay. Mama Ayla said, "Hello, beautiful ladies. Love listening. Y'all are very enlightening." Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, you said how you showing up?
Anxious and avoidant at the same time.
Oh, anxious and avoidant. Let me see that. Let me go back.
It's like all of them. You kind of bits and pieces of all of them.
Yeah. I feel like I can pull from all of them. in some space, not every line, but at least a few.
I'm mostly disorganized with a bit of secure. But yeah.
She said she did that real little.
Real little, like a grain of salt, right?
Mustard seed.
As a mustard seed. She said,
a little bit of salt back up in there.
Measuring with her eyes, though, she was
Right.
like,
is that little enough? Hold on, I can't get it any smaller.
What about you, Layla?
I'm gonna say disorganized, secure.
What about you, Auntie Connie? Because this ain't just romantic relationship.
Baby, let me tell you. I'm in my own column.
Oh. There you go.
Discombobulated.
Okay.
Fair.
Join that one, shit.
All of the, you know what I'm saying? All of them. Just a little bit of here, a little bit of that, all of the above. You know, real talk. Because like you said, you don't necessarily have to have all of them, but you do have some kind of qualities that fits you, whether it's past, whether you didn't heal from it, whether you in it, you know what I'm saying, or went through it, going through it. So yeah, if you honestly truthful with yourself.
That's the part. For me, I would say secure. What did I say? Secure and anxious. Yeah. I show up secure and anxious. I think the anxious part for me is that I require frequent reassurance because of past experiences that I'm currently working on. But yeah. I'm glad y'all was truthful and could see yourselves in them. In them. I mean, because you know how people can easily be like, I ain't on it. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here.
I feel like I got about 2 of those from anxious too. So
and that line while you're there.
I ain't gonna lie about it.
Right. That's why I say I'm in my own column, honey.
I can't even lie. I mean, because in all honesty, being truthful about that stuff helps you to kind of, like you say, you working on that. So it helps you to work on that stuff in order for you to be whatever version of yourself or a better version of yourself. So then you can show up in a relationship secure and ready to move forward and blah, 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 blah. But baby, sometimes it be hard because people be sitting over here testing your gangster. And you know what I mean? You be like, all right, so you think it's sweet over here, and I'm trying to tell you.
Baby,
I am trying to tell you.
I hate when people be trying to play you like you stupid. Like, it's like, fam, I wasn't born yesterday, my nigga. Like, stop playing with me. Like, you have to understand. I have enough intelligence to understand what's going on here. Don't fucking play me like I'm stupid. Like, please. I am
fighting. Wait, damn, did I put it on here? Hold on, let me see. Because I promise you I tried to upload it, but it probably didn't go through. Hold on, I have to put it on here in a second. But that's the one. But this one tickled me though. This kind of go with what you just said.
Nah, for real.
Nah, seriously.
Because
please do not.
We're not finna do this.
Great.
I was listening to something earlier about a guy. I mean, not about a guy, but it was a guy. He was saying, like, what benefit, as far as a man is concerned, is it for you to play with the emotions of a woman? If you know that she's feeling you, you know she's into you, but your ego is so fragile that you'll allow her to go through loops, bounds, and all this other stuff because you want to feel like the man, or you want to feel whatever you want to feel. And instead of you telling her, like, look, I'm not on this. This is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to like enjoy life. I'm trying to stick it and kick it. Like, why not just be honest from the beginning? And I think that be the thing that with a lot of women but then if we tap into the delusional part, it's men will say that, but then when a woman gets a certain type of attention or he does something, they'll be like, well, I know he said he don't want, but he be doing this for me. Like, because that's how he's showing. Because right now you're the one giving him whatever it is that he like. Maybe he like your coochie. Maybe he like your head. Maybe he just like spending time with you. That don't mean he want to be with you. So therefore he's going to treat you accordingly. Because if he wanted to be with you, most men would be like, they'll be able to tell you like, yeah, I want to be with you.
Right. Yeah.
And some men fall into relationships because they don't want to let you go. So now you in a relationship with somebody because you want to be with them, but they in a relationship with you because they don't want you to lose you, but they still want to be out here doing what the fuck they want to do. So they hold you hostage.
You get on my nerve.
My motherfucking business, Ayla.
All right. My bad.
You is
but I mean, but just like you said though, just like you said, you get into that type of relationship and they tell you, okay, we're just kicking it. And like you said, they start doing a little bit of extra because like they like your flow, they like your whatever. And you start to take it for something different. And then that's where it gets all fucked up in the head, you know. Because like 5 minutes ago, all you said was we was going to just be friends. I don't want to do anything else. But now, you know, here comes something totally different. So now you start to act accordingly to the way that they give you the vibes. And now they were like, well, I just said I didn't want a relationship. Like, why are you doing that? So,
that's the one. That's the one. Come on. They want you to act accordingly, but then when you start giving them the same energy that they've been giving you, now they feel some type of way.
Yep.
Now they feeling.
Yeah. And that's whack.
Let me cheers.
That's whack. Cheers. Cheers, ladies. Cheers. Cheers.
Now you make them feel some type of way.
I'm delusional.
Right. Now they got you. Acting like one of those.
Okay. Motherfucker. Yeah. Just want some love.
You so irritated.
I just called this whole person the fake boyfriend. That's some weird shit, but I don't give a fuck.
So irritating. But I think a lot of us have been in those situations where you like, okay, you know what you want. They kind of tell you what they want, but they're not really sure. But y'all are in this space of trying to figure it out. But then as you're trying to figure it out, you realize like they're not really giving you what you need. And even when you're telling them like, no, I need this, and they still don't show up, a lot of us are afraid of the let go part.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to. You done put all this time in, you've invested, your emotions done grown, you know, and now they start acting funky. Like, I text you this morning, but you ain't going to text me until tomorrow morning?
If at all.
So.
And then I gave you pussy.
That part. Because you can't take it back.
Then you can't take it back.
Can't take it back.
That'd be the thing right there. Be like, hold on.
I'm trying to throw it though.
Excuse me, mama, but you know I cuss. I gave you,
but then that makes you act what? The anxious one? Because I'm gonna act the anxious one. I'm like, I text you. I'm just trying to see if you okay. Like I start real light.
And that's the other part too. That's the other part too, though, Michelle, because that's real. That's a real thing. Because if we look at the world that we live in currently, and then we look at how things have been going, people with sickness, the whole pandemic type shit, when you don't hear from a motherfucker for like 2 days, you get worried.
Especially when you're used to hearing from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is you good? Is you okay? Is you dived?
But then I get pissed off now because if I text you, are you good? At least let me know you good, right? Don't let that linger on for the rest of the day, but I saw your ass on Instagram posting some shit. Like you could post on Instagram,
Not
but you
even
can't
that you
talk to me.
posting. Your goddamn bar is green.
How about that?
Oh, but according to some people, that doesn't always mean that they're online if it's green.
I mean,
Your phone just
for a
open
period of
on
time.
Facebook and you ain't on.
You was eventually on. At one point, you was on.
You was on at that time. Okay.
Yeah.
I can get an algorithm 2 minutes later after I just talked about Las Vegas. You was online.
Yep.
If my algorithm can change, I'm seeing all this other stuff, and all of a sudden I'm seeing trips to Vegas. No, sir, ma'am, sir, nothing.
I don't know, y'all.
You see that green light? They on. They on for real. They on. Don't let them. Don't let them play with you like that. Don't let them play in your face.
Oh, sometimes my green light be on because I wake up in the middle of the night and look at what time it is.
Yeah.
But I ain't on Facebook.
But you looked at Facebook for a second. You had to.
I opened my phone. And sometimes when you open your phone, that's when they tell people that you be on there. You ain't even got to actually be on Facebook.
Okay, but back to Auntie Michelle's point. Even if it's showing the green light because you opened up your phone, that means you opened up your phone and saw my damn text message.
That part too.
Oh no, I was just saying. I didn't even hear the text message part. I was looking at something. Sorry. So my brain was not computing all of the conversation. This is what I was getting ready to tell Genesis that this was.
Yo, do I have that emoji?
Yeah.
You should if you put wrestling.
That's hilarious.
If you put wrestling or something in your phone.
Yeah, you got that emoji.
I ain't got no Apple or nothing like that.
I got an Android and an Apple. It's on there somewhere.
I got
but so some of the one of the other things that I wanted to show y'all is
she found it.
She found it. Yeah.
Yay.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was one of these videos that we saw that we looked at the clips on Instagram, and it was a young lady kind of talking about what she does or how she leads into a relationship with her dude. And I was like, hold on, little mama, cuz what type of time do you have on your hand that you can actually like go through all of this and really look at all of this information and then spend the rest of your time looking at it? Like, so hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm waiting for it to end so I can show y'all. But hold on, here we go. Hold on, here we go.
Can I use telepathy to...
Wait, can y'all hear it? No, here we go. Sorry.
I am going through your likes. I am going through your comments. I am going through your followers.
I'm going through your followers. That follower went up one.
Hello.
Who you just followed?
This nigga told me he was going to the club one time. Let me tell you how crazy I am. He told me he was going to the club. I found every that worked in that club. And I looked to see if he followed any of them. I'm just telling you. And so I looked to see like who them was. I'm like, okay. That's his type. Let this come back with an extra follow, and I look them up, and that's in your followers. I'm gonna beat your ass, cause now what you following her for? Cause now I'm gonna beat your ass, and that happened before, and I had to beat everybody ass
because
what you getting the DMs for? I mean, what you getting the Instagram for? I ain't reciting shit, but if it's a nigga that I'm fucking with, I am a psychotic fucker. I am going through your likes.
Why? But see, some guys like that shit.
You know
can't do it.
You're right. It is some guys who like that.
Blueface.
Now she is delusional.
As hell. Who that
As fuck.
If you have to go through the whole job.
Very much been abandonment by a whole lot of people. And she's very hurt.
Very.
There you go.
That don't make no damn sense. That's too much. That's a
I
full.
like the way Auntie Lynn said that. She was very concerned.
She was even look, and even the scold at the end, like that don't make no damn sense.
Exactly.
She went to straight auntie mode for real.
She did.
Yeah, that's a full-time job.
That's too much, though.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to live your life that way? That is way too
And
much.
I'm not gonna lie, like for one of my exes, I used to look in his phone. I was always the hurt one by doing that shit. And it gets to the point like, what the fuck am I doing this for? If I feel like I have to do this, why the fuck are we together? Like, there's no need for us to be together because I don't have time. I want to be in a loving relationship. Let's spend that energy towards loving each other, not all this drama shit. Like, why does everything has to be drama filled?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's kind of like if we don't, and I think it's a combination of people just seeing a lot of drama growing up, and they associate drama and toxicity and all that crazy stuff with love. Like if you don't, I used to work for a domestic violence agency, and a lot of the women that grew up in seeing their parents or just seeing their mother just go through some stuff. If they mentally felt like if you don't put your hands on me, if you don't hit me, or if you don't like verbally attack me or anything like that, then you don't love me because you're not crazy about me.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand healthy love.
Yeah.
And then they were doing it to their children as well. So now the kids are being,
that's a norm for them.
Yeah, it's a norm for them.
Yep.
You got to break that cycle.
Definitely. I mean, I was definitely in a relationship where I felt like if it wasn't that person, it wasn't going to be nobody else. And I was so closed-minded about it. I was like, this is my person. He has to be my person, right? All this through the years, I was like, this is my person. No matter how bad this person hurt me or whatever we had gone through in previous years, I'm like, this is my person, and I wasn't going to let it go. Wasn't going to let it go to the point that he hurt me so bad that my mind was like, you need to let this go. Like, why are you holding on to this? This is not healthy for you. Yeah, it's like, it's not healthy, right? It's not healthy. So the last time he hurt me real bad, that was the last time I picked up the phone and cursed him out all the way, and then told him that he can't love him. He can't love me because he can't love himself. So I tried to go deep, and I tried to cut deep, and you know, then I hung up the phone, and then I deleted the number. You know, so
did you ever add it?
I think when we do that kind of stuff, we put ourselves in the space of constantly doing that, constantly putting out the fact that we don't trust no motherfucking body. Like, I don't trust you. I can't trust nobody because I ain't never seen situations where I gave my trust to somebody and I ended up winning in that space. A lot of times when people go through stuff like that, it's always because they got into the space of
vulnerability.
I'm gonna trust you, but then they got hurt. Then they tried to do it again, and every time that they've tried to trust somebody, that they've continuously gotten hurt. And like Genesis said, shit, I went in my ex phone, and I was like, "Well, won't do that again," because my feelings was hurt. Because like I was the one like,
right. I mean, people like, why the fuck is my phone? And it's a rabbit hole.
But then you confront them and they were like, why was you looking? Like,
why was you in my phone?
You got what you was looking for.
What you were looking for, yeah.
Yeah. Now you want
you the lying motherfucker. That's why.
Right. Now you the next episode of Snap.
So one of the other things that I think that adds to the delusion, because a lot of times we hear women talking about all of this whole list of things that they want, like this grand like scroll of qualities and things that they want from a man, all this other kind of stuff. But then they do some of the dumbest shit. And I happened to hear a conversation a while ago. And a chick was on the phone. She was talking about like this guy that she was dating. She dating a guy. They had a conversation about whether or not, they were going to date other people. He said, well, were they going to be open as far as how they were dating? Like if he was seeing other people before they became exclusive type situation. So she was like, that he said that that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be open. And she was like, she didn't want to be. But she stayed in the situation anyway. So dude was out here dating other women and all that other kind of stuff in the midst of while they were talking. And she wasn't. They got exclusive. And then that's when she decided that she wanted to date all these other people. But then got mad when the dude decided, oh, okay, well, since you're dating these other people, I'm going to go back to dating other people too. But she got mad. And I was like, how you get mad for something that you're doing?
I'm confused. Like,
so basically, you're trying to punish him for something that you agreed to do when he already told you what it was.
When he already told you what it was,
and you decided
what was happening. You decided to be exclusive to a man who was not exclusive to you during that time.
And now that he's exclusive to you, you want to give get back.
Yep.
That's basically what it is in a nutshell. You want revenge. Yep. And you're like, well, I can't have my revenge if you're out here dating other women too. Now, yeah, that's delusional. Because you had your time to do that. And then you got what you wanted in the process.
What was the point of even dating this man then? Because
you wanted to change his mind and you wanted him.
You wanted to be in a relationship, but then when you got into a relationship, then you started giving this man the pushback that initially you didn't want. I don't understand.
She convinced herself that she was the victim. She convinced herself that he cheated on her.
I know, but it was the thing about hearing the conversation take place. And I'm like, you know how stupid you sound?
That's dumb as hell. You said that.
And then she was like, but no, because he shouldn't have been playing. But he wasn't.
Because
he told you. Now, women want a man to tell them exactly what's going on, how he feeling, what he gonna do. Now, this man is sat here, and this is why they draw back on telling her shit. Because they like, you can't handle the truth. So
you can't handle the truth.
You act like you can.
You say that you can, but you really can't. You just want to hear them say it so you can go off and act a fucking fool. But no, motherfucker, if you want the truth, you have to sit there and be mentally prepared to handle that shit and act accordingly. You chose to stay in that shit after he told you. You can't, and once you choose that, you can't sit there and use that as no revenge. You can't sit there and use that as no argument factor or whatever you want to call it. You can't bring that shit up later because he told you. You should have left that day and let him do his shit. And if he wanted to be exclusive with you, then that's what you should have waited for, not being in that shit. Like, it's dumb as hell. I'm sorry.
But that's the problem. They can't, like you said, once they tell you, you got a decision to make whether you're going to leave now or stick around and see how this goes, how this plays out.
And that's why I want people to tell me the truth. Shit, let me be in control of the decision that I make.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't choose for me by just doing it and not saying nothing. Like,
But the problem is, if you and that person have had some time together, and now you got physical, right? Sometimes you get dickmatized and you can't go nowhere, right? You just all of this is all crazy now, right? So now you stay for the craziness. You stay for the psychiatric mess.
But the thing is it really dickmatized?
Sometimes it is.
No, sometimes you could be afraid to just not even maybe want to be alone, or
Yeah.
Or
Or you're
maybe
comfortable, or you
or
see
I'm
whatever
very
potential.
comfortable. Yeah, you
You
comfortable.
stuck on whatever potential you feel like that man has. So you're just like, well, I'm gonna stick through. I'm gonna stick beside him.
and
Yeah.
it can also be like low self esteem. You feel. Go ahead, Auntie Glenn. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was just about to say you could also be feeling insecure about yourself, like, oh,
Right.
I got this one. I probably won't be able to get another person
Mm-hmm.
like him. But it's like what? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
Like
Like
what? I mean, because the thing, Auntie Michelle, I was once at a space with somebody too, where I was like, there's like that was it. He was the end all be all. And I can't remember what triggered in me. And I don't know if I know I was in school at the time or something. And something triggered me and was like, girl, it is such and such billion men out here. And
Yes.
you are over here delusional, because that's the
Delusional.
word of the night, over this nigga.
Yep. We
And
should
when
take we should take a drink every time we say the word delusional.
here's
We should take a drink every time we hear that word.
it made no sense to me once I let the smoke clear. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's not necessarily just delusion. It's a lot of times us being caught in a mental funk or a physical emotion. It's us being caught in a, and sometimes it's us
You in the
being caught in our
honeymoon
traumas.
phase.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You be in that honeymoon
You be
phase
in a honeymoon
of
phase,
Yeah.
or
liking
you're stuck in a
somebody,
trauma.
enjoying somebody, enjoying how things are flowing between the two of you, and
Yep.
then when it switches up, like that's why you're so stuck. Like shit switches up. Now you're like, wait, what's happening? What's going on?
When you're
Yep.
trying to get that feeling back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is people think
Then
that the honeymoon phase is a short period of time, but it really isn't. It could be 1 and 2 years for a honeymoon phase, and
It
you
can
be
be
like, oh my
longer.
God, I really love this
damn, I ain't
person.
never been in that long of a honeymoon
Right.
phase.
A honeymoon
And
phase can
sometimes
last
it
up to 2
happens for a
years.
long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lying. I probably have been.
I ain't.
Yeah.
But it was, I will say that y'all know I always talk about my last relationship because that was the last relationship I was in, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say that we were in the honeymoon phase for a long time because we dated for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like we dated, like before we did anything. Like me and that man was together like almost 9 months before we did anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we was in the honeymoon phase for that time. And then even after we decided to be together, it was, we were still in the honeymoon phase. So I could see about a year. But I
Yeah.
ain't never seen no 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years may be extreme, but
A
at
stretch. That's
least
a
a
stretch.
at
But that is
least a
about the time
year.
frame, though.
It
It can
is.
last up to about 2 years, because that's still a space where you both are still getting to know each other.
Yep.
And then now it's like, now you're getting to know each other, then family gets involved and all this other stuff happens, friends, and then
Yep.
eventually, and it just depends on how fast all of that progresses. And so now you're
Mm-hmm.
in that, but then somewhere along that 1.5, 2 year mark is when like life started happening. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody dies, somebody lose a job, somebody gets sick, like all of these factors and things, or also whatever the representative was in the beginning of that relationship. Now that person can't show up no more, because you can't lie that long.
Right.
You can't pretend to be this person and lie about who you are for that long.
That's the part that's really the hurtful part, because once the representative goes away and you really start seeing the real person, you're like, wait a minute. Why did this change? What's happening? Like, what's going on? And I believe that's when all of my crazy comes out at this particular part. Like,
It'd be so funny when Auntie Michelle be
all my
saying
crazy come out
the
at that
reason her
Maybe
When
particular
she
crazy.
say
point.
her crazy come out.
her
Yeah, when
crazy
she
come
got
out.
a reason her crazy, it's like no man,
Mm,
no man.
I mean,
But that's what it says on here. It says the honeymoon phase lasts um 6 months to 2 years.
yep,
Yeah.
I can't
yeah.
get past a couple of months. Huh?
But see, that's why you have to be
because I get tired of motherfuckers real quickly.
we do. And we do.
But this one, I feel like I'm delusional. Yeah, I think I'm delusional. And I be trying to draw back and shit, but
I think with you, Jen, is that you have a pure heart. You have a pure heart. You have pure intentions. And so then when you encounter people who give you the same type of energy, you expect that same type of effort and willingness that you have. And so when it doesn't pan out to be that way, then your feelings are hurt. So you're not necessarily delusional. You're just going based off of what people give you in the beginning. And so when they switch up, that switch up for you is hurtful.
Yep.
And it's hurtful for everybody when people switch up on you. I'm not. It's because I love you and I pay attention. But I think that's really what it is. It's like you're expecting the same kind of energy and effort and willingness and love in return. And I can say that because that's me as well. Like I expect the same thing in return because nobody wants to be putting their seeds on the concrete. You ain't gonna get nothing from it. Nobody wants that.
But that's how you get your feelings real hurt.
I hate to be all biblical and whatnot, but that's even in the Bible. Like you don't want to put your seeds.
It is
not good soil because you're not going to bear any fruit from where you from planting seeds on the concrete. You're not. And so a lot of us want we want to see some fruit from our labor.
Yeah. But in order to do that though, like from 6 to 2 years, something shows up, right? But you push it to the side or you put it in the back of your mind or you be like, oh, that's just that one time. Let me grace this. Let me give him some grace. But as you go along and they continue to show you something, you know what I'm saying? You're in it too deep. Like you knee deep in it. And now you don't want to back out like you should. You know what I'm saying? You hurting your own feelings at this particular point. You know, especially when you see stuff when you know you can't tolerate it. Like for me, I like text messages. I want to be communicated with throughout the day. I'm the anxious one, right? So if I text you like, "Hey, good morning, how you doing? Hey, is things good?" Right? And then you don't text me until tomorrow.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Love text messaging. I don't like phone calls, but I like video calls because I like to see the person. However, when it comes down to text messaging, usually if we're in an active conversation via text, I expect a response after that.
Yeah.
Or let's close the shit out and be like, even though I love talking to you, I'm about to go ahead and finish some projects or something.
I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna go do something or whatever.
Yeah, like end it so I won't be expecting nothing from you.
Especially if I'm asking you a question or something to a degree. Look.
Or if we just had a conversation back and forth and it was a lot of feelings being exchanged and then I end it and you don't say shit else after that.
Right.
Boy, fuck you. Because that's how I'm gonna be the next day. Don't text me good morning, beautiful.
Then you want to text good morning the next day, like nothing just the fuck happened.
Like, can you look above?
Like, we didn't just have
go back and respond to that message that I sent you, my nigga, because I sent you for a reason.
This emoji is what I put. Like, above. God damn it! Before you say good morning, beautiful. Like, stop
you say anything else.
Like,
I'm gonna use that. Thank you, Jennifer. Prepare to be sick of me in that emoji.
I think what it boils down to is, and I think I said this probably almost every episode this year because this is my new thing, reciprocity. And I think what it is like if I'm giving it, because I'm working in the day too. I got other shit happening myself. So if I'm texting you or calling you or taking time out of my day just to make you feel special or just to have a conversation with you, just do the same. There's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, it's a busy day and I saw your message. I'm going to get back to you. Just give me a minute.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. That's it. That's all. Acknowledge me. Because if you acknowledge me, then I know it's like it's assurance, it's reassurance because you're acknowledging me. No matter
And
how crazy your day
it'll keep me
is.
from doing this. It'll keep me from doing this.
Baby.
Straight.
Because the worst place, the worst place.
Oh my God.
The worst place a woman can be
and she's
in her head.
Yep.
And when you don't give clarity, assurance, communication, she's in her head because now at this point, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
That just 5 minutes ago we were boom, boom, bing,
going,
and now all of a sudden it stopped.
It just dry. The phone dry.
Even if it's 20, 30 minutes later, like, I'm sorry I wasn't able to hit you back real quick. I had to take a really bad deuce and had to put my phone on the charger. Like, okay,
something.
And let me tell your nasty booty ass, and then
like,
we go ahead.
I hope you watch your ass. Like, it's
exactly
fine. Communicate.
I had to shower. When I get out the shower, I went to sleep.
Right,
like
something.
Communication. This is the part that I hate, is that people make communication seem like it is such a daunting task when it is really simple. Now
and it
I get it
so much, and it doesn't.
It is a task to put yourself out there when it comes to communication. So like, and I am not going to be the person to ever like downplay the communication part, because that's one of the biggest things that I've worked on in therapy. Bless you.
Oh shit! Oh, because I was wondering.
She was trying to hold it in and let it out at the same.
Like one of them sneeze parts that came.
I was looking like, which one of y'all did it? I didn't know.
I thought something was wrong.
But it's I am never gonna be the person to say that that communication cannot be hard. It can be hard, but you have to be willing to step outside of the fear that you created in your mind when it comes to communication. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of us create these scenarios or these thought processes based on communication from our childhood or how we grew up. So a lot of times the communication is always going to seem like, oh God, oh, fuck it, I'ma just say it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hype yourself up to be able to communicate. But also the other part of it is that it's oh so simple. It's so simple.
It could all be so simple.
It could. It could really say. It could really be easy for you to say, "Hey, I'm tired right now. You know, maybe we could talk tomorrow, or maybe I could text you later.
I'm not in the best headspace.
I'm not in the best headspace. Whatever it is, whatever way that you need to say what you need to say, but say it so that it makes sense and so that the person can receive it. It would be so much easier. But people would rather leave you in a space where you trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
And then assume that they notice it either. Like,
and then they leave you in this space.
Sitting up almost.
Because even if you do, just because I know I will randomly fall asleep. Like, after we finish this, the wine I've been drinking, I might mess around and fall asleep. But even if you fall asleep and you wake up, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you see my text because you're going to go to the bathroom,
right?
Hey, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. I think in all honesty, it's just making
courtesy.
It's courtesy.
It's respect.
That part.
And respect. It could, because it's like if I give you that same energy,
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Right. Oh, you intentionally trying to ignore
what
me?
you doing? Now you in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you evil or bitter when you match energy. Or you distant, or all these other things when you match their energy. But no, baby, this the energy you giving me. And I'm not finna continue to give you that good, feel good, make your balls tingle kind of energy, because why? You ain't showed me that you appreciate it. You ain't shown me that you like that energy. So why would I? But this made me chuckle a little bit.
Soft women, but you keep making things hard. Y'all want soft women, but you keep making things hard.
Come on,
She ain't lied
Amanda,
about it though.
with this chant.
She definitely said what she
The red
said.
ring song.
Y'all want soft women, but you're making things hard.
Okay, let's
Honey, I think
answer. Can we answer Mama Ayla with
Yep. Who
I
said
didn't-
so?
No.
How long should
Let me tell
we
you
wait or
something.
answer a text?
Let me tell you something. My mother will literally text me back 2 days later. Okay.
That's why she's trying to get some clarity.
But see, now here's the thing. In my mom's excuse, in her defense, at least this week alone, she had been sick, and she is she's a supervisor, so she supervises all these people, and she's been sick. So these last week or two, she got grace. Now, any other time, if I text her and she don't text me within 24 hours, I'm on her ass. Hello, because I text you.
First of all, parents need their butt whipped because they so bad. Like, we have to raise our parents now, okay?
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Let me ask Fuji-La. I already know, 'cause I've been seeing some of her posts. I know what she got.
And I was about to say, she going through it, and Michelle, you going through it too with your mama.
Right.
No.
Because who y'all think y'all are? Tell me what's going on.
My mama cool. She will text. If I text my mother, she texts me right back. She tell me what's going on, whatever.
Yes, your mama probably be doing it. You be like, oh, now if I did this shit, you would be on my ass about it.
But then my mama would text me in the middle of the night, out of nowhere, just randomly texting me.
I wish she would text now. I know she watching. But she probably don't know how to watch and text at the same time. But
I don't think
that's
there's
hilarious.
a grace or a time period. Like we've been saying, like if you're having an active conversation, text conversation, then yeah, I expect you to text within the first 1 to 10 minutes or so. But in that, I'm sorry.
Let it out.
No, let that shit go.
Let it out.
In that shit, if you busy, okay? Like if you having a busy day and I know that you're working or whatever the case may be, end it, because I am highly into this conversation at this point. I am into the conversation. I want to continue talking to you. Exactly. I'm invested because I like the flow of it. But you leave me on red, or if you leave that message in that chat for a week, that's a problem for me. And I have expressed this before and was told to just say, oh, I missed the messages, and was told to say, just send me a hello text. And I'm like, why do I have to do that? Because if you're just as invested in this conversation as I am, why don't nothing bring you back to this conversation or bring you back to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, to finish.
Who the fuck you talking to?
Honey, I'm just gonna cut you off. I ain't got time in this season.
Because I feel like the other part of this is when it comes to communication, if you are not going to respond to me, do not start a conversation with me.
Because why are we doing this?
Yeah, like,
or unless you're checking in, like even with like sometimes with me, like if you text me and I'm out doing Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or one of my million other hustles, I'm definitely gonna text you back as soon as I see it. But if it's flowing and it's steady and I'm getting ride back to back to back to back, I might not have saw you text me.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'm done or as soon as I'm relieved, then I'm gonna make sure that I respond back to you. But then even other times, I think it gets to a point where people gotta really just know who they are. Like, and then start telling people up front, like, hey, I'm not a fast texter. I really don't like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Or like I'd rather talk on the phone than text or whatever. Because that's me. I would rather talk on the phone than text.
Really?
But depending on the day and the situation, yeah, if you at work and I'm at work, of course, we'll probably text. If the day has gone by, you at home and I'm at home, why are we texting? Why we
I'm
texting?
not good at calling people. I admit that.
Mm-hmm.
I am terrible at calling people because my problem is,
Answering the phone.
ooh, first of all, I keep my shit on do not disturb. That's my problem. Uh,
Right.
Oh, but had the nerve to talk about me when she called me and my phone was on Do Not
I'm
Disturb.
like, she just called me. I called her ass back. My shit went straight to voicemail. Bitch, I
Well,
just
on Do
no.
Not Disturb.
No, but I am really bad at calling people, and I know, especially guys, because I always feel like if they're not hitting me up, then they're
They're
not
not
really
interested.
interested in the conversation. And
Yeah,
usually I sit back and I wait for a motherfucker to call me. Like, and it's
I do that.
bad because I feel like they want me to call, but I can't get over it. Can't get past myself and my what I be thinking.
Right. So then you doing the same thing that you complaining about them doing.
Mm.
See,
So
I do the same thing Genesis do. However, there is a time that I break, right? I break it out and I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're busy. Maybe they don't feel well. Maybe. In my head, I maybe. That little meme is me. I done made up 5,000 scenarios in my head. Now I'm gonna call you. If my call go to voicemail, I'm like, why don't I have a pass through? Because I know everybody got DND, do not disturb, but I should be special, and you should give me the pass through. So I have I want a special ringtone. I want to hear what it sound like when it ring.
You and this,
I mean, but who are you though? Because
What you mean? Who am
are you
I?
the girlfriend? Are you the girlfriend, or are you just a friend? Or are y'all talking? Because
that's
that
a
will
lot of
determine it
yeah.
too. Like that will determine if you get to pass through or not. Because if you ain't my man, I mean, like if I'm feeling you real hard though, you might get that
You make
pass
it
through.
pass
But
through, yeah.
But
yeah,
see,
but if
we'll
I ain't
give a
really feeling
pass
you,
before they give a pass, though. Sometimes,
we don't know that.
Maybe.
Cause we'll
sometimes.
never be
That's
with
why I
them
said
when they
sometimes.
phone when they phone ring and stuff. But I don't know.
You not crazy
I
like I
mean,
am to sit there and call.
I mean,
No,
I
I
mean,
would call.
I will call, but then I mean, like I get it if they don't answer, then I might leave a voicemail and be like, hey, just hit me when you get
voicemail.
the
What's that?
message.
No, no.
I'm
Voicemail.
talking about we sitting
Maybe I
right
should
next to
start
each
leaving
other, but
voicemails.
I
I
want to
don't
hear
do
what my
that.
ringtone is.
They don't listen to them damn
I'm old.
voicemails.
I mean, like I'm not old, but it's just like sometimes I feel like stuff like we complain about stuff, but then we don't give the same extension, or we don't extend a little bit more when
Yeah.
we be wanting them to extend a little more too. So if I call you and you don't answer and I just leave a voice message like, hey, call me when you get this message, whatever, or call me, whatever. If we do that, then sometimes, just like we be wanting the grace when we be busy or when we not looking at our phone or when we not paying attention, then we got to get them grace too, because we'll be the first one. You ain't even call or text, and then you look at your phone and be like, oh yeah, you did call me.
Fuck them.
So now
Yeah.
you
Oh.
feel like, now you up here looking stupid because you was bitching and complaining, but he actually did call or text or reach back out to you.
Well, you know what I'm gonna say, like,
So that's part of our delusion.
So at one space, it used to be really hard for me to like call because I'm like, I don't want to bother. I don't want to. But now, if I feel like there's something I need to say that doesn't warrant a fucking text message, I'm calling. so I'm going to call now. Whether you pick up or not that just is what that is. But whatever it is that I have to say at that moment, sometimes I just want to hear your voice. So it's like I would prefer to call than to sit over here and be like, well, I ain't gonna call. Because like I said, that before therapy, Ayla would be like, I ain't doing all that. I'm not going to do, because like if he want to talk to me, he'll call me. But I'm sitting here like I want to hear his voice, or I want to talk to him, or there's something I really want to tell him that a text message doesn't, it just don't have the same effect. So now I call. Now, if you pick up, you pick up. If you don't, you don't. Now, one of the things I don't do is leave voicemails. I don't know why I don't do that, because
it's weird about voicemails and phone calls.
I mean, I've been leaving voicemails
before now. Y'all ain't had, y'all asses didn't have no other way of communicating, because y'all. I think everybody on here older than me except Ayla. Probably.
Now we the same age.
I feel
Okay. And y'all ain't had no other way of communicating before cell phones except to pick up the phone and call a motherfucker. Before AOL, chat rooms and all, y'all had to pick up the
better
phone.
part. That was the better part because, and what I do like about the old days when you used to pick up the phone and then that little tape recorder spins and you leave a whole, you got to listen to the song before you drop the voicemail message, right?
That was definitely one of mine.
Exactly.
Hold on, rewind.
You knew that went through because it recorded you. Now, if they deleted it, you know they deleted it because you know you definitely left a voicemail message on it. You know, now today they be like, I didn't get a voicemail message. Lying ass motherfuckers. They got it. They be lying.
Like mud.
I just know, like, I mean, for me, I try to give that extra grace and that little bit of more. You know, I try to go a little the extra mile, but it's just a matter of time before me being me. If I don't get some of them courtesies in return, or I don't feel like you doing me the same way, and you not reaching out, you not calling, you not texting. Okay.
So what's
how long do
watch
you
that
wait?
energy change on you, and now you're gonna feel it because that's the part about my energy. Like my energy is big and it's bright. But if you ain't getting chocolate sunshine, you gonna get that chocolate tornado, my nigga, and you ain't gonna like neither one of them.
How long do you wait though? How long do you wait that out?
It just depends on me. It depends on my mood
I
and how I
say,
feel.
I don't think none of that has a time frame. I think it just depends on, like you said,
on you.
When you like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit.
Oh, okay, so how do you?
But that's my personality. Rainbows or tornado and
how
rainbow.
do you determine when it becomes self-sabotaging?
That part, yes.
Because okay, let me give you an example. Now, my friend pointed out the fact that a lot of times I'll try to say, "Oh, let me go, let me stop bothering you, let me leave you alone," blah blah blah, and he pointed out the fact that I say that, but then I'd be excited when he be like, "Oh, you're not bothering me. Oh no, we can continue to talk. I'm still here to talk." And I told him that that's a defense mechanism, and he never gives me any indication that he wants to get off the phone or stop texting or anything. That's just what I throw out there if I don't feel that like the energy is being reciprocated. So how do you know when it's not self-sabotaging at that point?
How do you know when it's not, or how do you know when it is?
When it is, I'm sorry.
When you start making up shit in your head, or when you start creating scenarios that aren't there. Like you said, you will be like, oh, okay, well, I really I ain't want to bother you, this and third, whatever. And this man was in the middle of his whole sentence. Like, wait, so you wasn't gonna let me finish talking? You just ready to get off the phone? Like, what's happening? So that's when it becomes a little bit sabotagey because you are creating the scenario. Like, if you're not creating the scenario and you're actually trying to navigate through the waters and like you start hitting brick walls as you trying to navigate the waters, that's different than you creating a scenario in your head and running with it and saying, oh, nah, nigga, because you this and this. And
you ain't saying it, you ain't really saying it with conviction. You just like you blowing through it. You're not really saying it like in a way that I feel like you're really interested.
And you testing. That's what you're doing. You testing him as well. Like, let me see if he gonna respond the way that I want him to respond because I need to know.
I need that disorganized reassurance shit. I told you.
I want him to make me feel. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I absolutely
make me feel better.
I absolutely love my therapist. And one of the things that she told me, because I have a tendency to do that, but she says that if you get to the point where you're unsure, you need assurance about anything, like maybe y'all having a conversation, like you said, and you're feeling like he may be distant, ask. Like, hey, you seem a little distant. Is everything okay? Like we're talking, but you just seem like you're a little bit off. Is everything okay? She would tell me that all like there's nothing wrong with you asking or saying what you need or saying what you want, because us as women tend to, because I think it may be like the helpmate thing or something like that. We tend to be like, we're so busy trying to appease the man that we end up losing all the things that we need and all the things that we want. And so we, like you say, you got the defense mechanism where we're just like, well, if you don't really want to talk right now or whatever, because now we want to feel assured. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can really feel assured is instead of you instead of you playing, because in a way it's like you playing because you want to see what's going to happen. Ask, hey, look, you seem a little off. Is everything okay? Is there something going on? Is there a reason why you're seem distant when we're talking?
And see, that's the thing. That's where the secure part of that little diagram comes into play, because well, it wasn't, you know what I'm talking about, the chart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because with this one, I don't have a problem saying anything about or mentioning how I feel. Like if I feel like something is bothering me, I make sure I let him know. If I feel like he's falling back, I make sure I let him know. But I still have my
reservations.
Yeah, my reservations. And at the same time, I have to also check myself, because we've never had no conversation about being anything more. We just play around a lot, flirt a lot. And because of what my heart wants, I tend to put unexpected expectations on him, in a sense. And that's where I have to check myself. It's like, bitch, you can't demand.
Well, Lord.
What?
Go ahead. I got a question, though.
I wanted the same question.
I can't demand certain stuff from him because we're not even there. Like, we're just flirting and playing around at this point. Because I don't feel like neither one of us in the place to really receive each other. But I just feel like he can possibly give me what I want or need.
Well, the door to the church is open.
Don't ask your stuff, Auntie Leo.
So,
oh shit.
Why haven't y'all had the conversation? You know what I'm saying? Because you scared, or because you scared that the answer not gonna be what you want it to be?
Ooh,
not so much about the answer. It's because I still don't feel like I'm in the position to receive what I want.
Do you know that's self-sabotage as well?
I believe that.
Because you keep saying that you want one thing. You keep saying, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And then you said, well, he looks like he can give me this and that and this and that. And then y'all have this rapport and this connection and this, that, and the third or whatever. But you also said y'all have not had a conversation about what y'all doing or what it is or where it's going to be. And then that's how you end up with your feelings hurt, because you've hurt your own heart because you've started to put these expectations and all this other kind of stuff on this person. And then now, after you've done all of that, now you like, well, goddamn, I'm in love with a motherfucker who with somebody else. Because that's what it'll end up being. Like, y'all didn't never have no conversation. You just had all these expectations, no conversation, and nothing came of it because both of y'all was out here pussyfooting around, and instead of having a conversation to see what it is that you guys wanted. And I get it. You're not in a space where you feel like you're not in a space to move forward or to do those things and all that other kind of stuff. And that's fine. And it's not to say that you cannot desire that. But sometimes we set ourselves up to not receive what's right in front of us because we keep saying, well, I'm not in this space to do this, and I'm not, and I'm not, and I'm not. But what are you?
I don't know, girl. A mess.
Ooh, I put my hand up for
yes,
real quick. So y'all know I always say, like, I'm always like on social media just rolling, scrolling. And my algorithm is the shit, I feel like, at least lately. Earlier today, I saw a segment where a woman was talking about how she almost lost her husband to another woman, and I'm gonna tell you why. She didn't say shit. He was interested in her. She knew he was interested in her. Is everything okay?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yo, it's not a real auntie episode until Michelle
over there fucking around with something. Michelle is always fucking with something. And I promise you, it's every show. We either hear a noise, her camera, her lighting, it's something
happening.
Leave well enough alone, Michelle.
You was just good. You was just good.
Camera just went into a whole whirlwind like
it flipped.
Sorry, because I know you was about to say something really profound.
That was like a plane coming down. You know when the helicopter shit be fucked up.
Oh, God. Look, I was right in the middle of that, and I said, "Well, wait a minute,
no, finish."
Girl, can I make it back serious?
I don't even remember.
No.
You was looking at your algorithm.
Your timeline, because the algorithm, the lady almost lost her husband to another woman.
Right. That part. Be still. I'm ready.
Gotta swallow. Hold on.
Okay. I'm ready now.
All right. Okay, so the lady almost lost her husband to another woman. And she said that she was praying or something like that, and God showed her that she was going to lose him to this woman. Now, the guy ended up bringing up, because they were friends, and she kept saying, "Oh, that's just my friend. I like him, but that's just my friend. I like him, but that's just my friend." And then the guy ended up bringing this girl up that he felt like, like, oh yeah, she's very interested. Now this chick was on his ass. Like, she was like, I want him. And he was making it plain. And sometimes what ends up happening is we go into this defense mechanism and we try to act as though like, oh, we cool. I like him. I'm flirting. But we really like them. Mm-hmm. And instead of us making it plain and trying to have that conversation about where we're leading to, where we're going, where they are or what they want to do and how we can get there, we're so afraid of the rejection or the possibility that they don't want the same thing that we want, right? That we'll sit there and string along into a situation, and then once they find themselves in another situation or getting into it, now we feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hurt. Well, we've been doing this all this time. How you just gonna be with her? Yeah. Because she made it plain. She said, I want you. I want to do all these things you want to do. I want to do all these things you want me to be, and whatever she did. But she made it plain while you was sitting over there acting. Oh, that's my friend. Mm-hmm. That's my play boo. That's my this. That's my that. Yeah. So now. Because men are more lenient than women are. So if you're steady saying this is who I am to you as a man, that's who the fuck I am to you. Mm. And then now she's saying, I want you to be my man. I want you to be my husband. I want you to be this. But you feel some kind of way because you're like, oh, that's my friend. Mm-hmm. Those two things don't work. And if he moves on accordingly, you can't be mad. Because apparently he just your friend.
I got a whole piece.
But I think that it's important for us to do. I think it's really important for us as women to know what we want and know what we need and make that shit plain. Because while we sitting over here trying not to get our feelings hurt, we're still getting our fucking feelings hurt.
Big time.
Because we're not being honest, not just with them. We ain't being honest with ourselves.
Right.
So if I'm not telling you this is what I want and this is what I need, I can't wing you the fuck out. Because now I'm saying this is what I want, this is what I need. You say, I'm not on that. I'm not in that space right now. Okay, you're not in that space. We could still be cool, or we can't be cool. Whatever your decision is, but I'm gonna still be doing what I need to do because this is what I want, and I'm gonna find whoever that is that wants the same thing with me and can reciprocate and give me all these different things that I need and that I want. But I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time. You know what I'm saying, with you. I used to talk to a guy some months ago. He was very attentive as far as texting me. But as far as spending time or hanging out with me, it was always a reason or an excuse or whatever. But all right, he'll message me and be like, "Man, what you doing?" Nothing. I'm chilling in the crib, or I'm at my friend, or whatever I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm at the bar with the guys. You're at the bar with the guys.
You always out with the guys, but
or not even just the guys. It's just random stuff. Like you're just randomly doing this or randomly doing that. But you texting me at 1 a.m. when you get up because you went to the bathroom. You thought about me. You texting me at this time. You texting me at that time, and you use a texting motherfucker. And you telling me I'm texting you so much because I'm thinking about you at all these random moments and all these random times. But when it comes to spending time with me, you don't make an effort for that. So I explained that to him, and I fell the fuck back. Does he like it? No. Do I give a fuck? No. Because I want somebody who is going to be attentive about me in more ways than just fucking texting me. You can't satisfy me with a fucking text message.
So because that's why I like the phone conversations. Yeah, because like I can't learn you through you motherfucking texting me all day, sir. How I'm supposed to know what you sound like when you sad and we'll never talk on the phone? How I'm supposed to know what you sound like when you excited or you happy? And I learned through audio. Like I learn people by hearing them.
Yeah.
Because I can always. You said what?
I said I learned by visual and hearing. Like I
learned by visual too. But if I can't hear you, if I can't listen to you and hear the different pitches or the different way that you sound, the way your voice is a little higher when you excited, a little lower when you sad, or it's pretty even when you in a good mood, so you got a consistent tone. Yeah, like those are the kind of things I listen to because you can't lie to me because my ears go off like a little dog. Like, hold on. Ears up.
It's just like a mother being able to know when the baby cries in a different space that what they need.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this whole little after let me see if I should be able to say this. After what I witnessed on yesterday, I further realized that I just do not want to waste time.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste time. I don't want to and I always say I don't know how much time I got left because I don't. Nobody does. But the time that I do got left, I don't want it to be in the space of struggling to understand you when you can make it easy for me to understand you. Right. I don't want to spend the rest of my time battling you. Even if this is not what you want, if you don't want to be in this space with me, that's okay. But I don't want to spend the rest of my time arguing with you, battling with you, fighting with you. I don't want to do that. I want to spend the rest of my time in this space growing and loving the person that I'm becoming while you're growing and loving the person that you're becoming, and we can enjoy ourselves with each other. Right. I don't want to do all this back and forth and all of this bullshit and all of I don't want to do that. If that's what you want to do, peace. Go that away.
Yeah.
Take your ass.
Please exit stage left.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like. I've seen so many people leave this earth fighting for love, wanting love, needing to be loved, needing to know that they are loved, or needing somebody to tell them that I love you, but they left here without hearing it. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of those people are still tortured in their spirit, even though they're no longer here, because they did not hear I love you, because they did not get what they needed before they left here. And I refuse to spend the rest of my time half loved.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I'm not gonna cut myself off from wanting love or being loved just because I'm not in a space where I feel like I should be able to receive it.
Don't do it. You tried it.
Or also just because
you
tried it.
And did.
She did it.
And I do it again.
I don't like that
shit. or just because somebody else didn't love you correctly. Yeah. So because somebody else didn't love you correctly, now you want to shut yourself off from anybody else, allowing anybody else to come in and love you. Like that person, that person's love means so much to you that you won't allow somebody else to love you the way that you want to be loved, or to give you the love that you feel like you want and you desire. But I think that goes, okay, I don't know what y'all doing. I know it's between y'all two.
I'm laughing at that phone up there trying to drink it.
I don't appreciate y'all reading my life like this tonight.
Hey, Stephanie. Hey, boo.
Hey, Stephanie.
She said, I love that all your names start with Auntie. I love it so much.
Aww. Auntie behavior over
there. We the Aunties.
Yeah,
we the crazy rich Aunties.
But I mean, I was in that space, Ayla, at one time. Like you said, you fall in love with somebody and you feel like that's the one, right? And then when that doesn't work out, it's like time out for all of that, right? I became recluse at one point, and I was like, forget it, I'm not gonna try, you know, because that nigga hurt. He hurt me real bad, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't expecting it to come from out of anywhere. So I'm like, okay, look, time out for that. Let me just start loving myself. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I finally came out of it. It took a long time to come out of it, but like you said, like how dare you think that one person out of 7 billion people
is the only one?
You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much out there for you.
And then on top of that, they didn't deserve you.
That part.
And they couldn't appreciate the gem that you were. So why is it that this person, that when you look back on it and you look back on this person, you like, what the, like, we all do that. We look like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, why was I so enamored with this person? And they didn't bring anything to the table.
Because they loved that version of you.
They love that.
That's why we go back and look at people. That's why we go back and look at people like, well, what the fuck was I on? Because you've grown and you've changed, and your things that you want for yourself and your life have changed. Yeah. So that's why, like, when you look back at some people that you used to fuck with back in the day, and you used to like, ugh.
Like what the was wrong?
But like, you've changed, but also sometimes we look back at that because we realize that we settled sometimes. Like sometimes we've settled and was just like this. I don't look at none of my exes like, ugh. Like, I'd be like,
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I don't either. I don't look at none of my exes in a space where I'm like, ew, Like, it's crazy because when I went through my divorce and everything and all that stuff happened. And everybody's just like, oh, people are so surprised that how the transition of me being in whatever space I was in to the space that I'm in now, like how I was able to do it and do it so fast. But the thing is that I was already trying to heal myself before I decided to finally get the divorce. Before I even filed the papers, I was already in the process of trying to heal myself through whatever pain and agony and depression that I was in depression since I got married. 2 weeks after we got married, I was in depression the entire fucking time. Damn. And it took me to finally go into and go back into therapy, because I was in therapy before, but because I got with him and I felt like, oh, I'm happy now. I got out of therapy, and he like, you don't need no therapist, and I'm listening to this nigga. And because he didn't want me to see who he really was, and in the midst of my therapy and my healing, and the bitch goes back to therapy, and I'm like, hey man, something is wrong. And I grew out of that. Now, do I hate him and despise him and like, oh, he just ruined everything, I don't want to ever get married again? Hell no. Why? Right. Because I know that whoever my Boaz, as like in the biblical term of it, or whoever my person is, they out there somewhere. They may be Asian, Mexican, mixed. They might be a woman. I don't know who the fuck it is, but whoever it is, I want them, and I'm ready for them. You know what I mean? And I'm dating, and I like the guy that I'm dating. I hope it's him. But if it ain't that nigga, whoever it is, yes, I'm ready, because fuck all that shit that happened before. That has nothing to do with the journey and the healing and the stuff that I'm going through now, because now I'm learning to love myself so much better that the next person gonna have to love me, match my love, or love me more. That's facts. And at first I wasn't doing that. I was too busy trying to prove my love and my worth to somebody else. And I think that's what happens to a lot of women, is that we're so busy trying to prove that we're worthy of your love, that we don't make you prove how worthy you are of ours.
Right, that part.
I also think that we are stuck in this space of believing that we only have one person. Like society makes us believe we only have one soulmate. Like soulmates come in so many forms. Like soulmates can come in the form of friendships and all that other kind of stuff. And then there are different levels to being in love and loving somebody. So there is romantic love, there is agape love, there are all different forms of love. And so when you talk about love, people put love in such a small ass box when love is so big and broad and wide. It's so much more than yeah, and we don't have to stick to it just being one person that we're going to love. Like, you get to love so many people, and like I said before, you haven't even met all the people that are going to love you. So we got to get out of the space of thinking that just because that person is gone, oh, okay, well, who's gonna love me next? Like, that's how we got to think about it. Like, instead of just limiting ourselves to the fact that we got one person and it's one person only, and I'm only supposed to marry once and be once and once and once and once and once.
I'll tell you one thing: the next person I marry better be the last one.
That's my last. I don't care. If I ever manifest anything, is that my next is going to be my last, because, baby. And I've experienced all those other forms of love. I have in form of friendship, but like you said, I haven't experienced all of them. But however, I actually want to experience my soulmate in the form of some D. I mean, or real love.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, come with
romantic
the
love.
Yeah,
romantic love. Agape love.
Yeah, that come with the D and some good D at that. Like, I'm just saying.
This nigga.
Good D, physical, mental,
you want it all. You want it,
all of that,
emotional. Yeah,
all of that. The more that we grow and the more that we learn to love ourselves, we realize what we need more of. Before, I remember asking God for, I wanted a light skin, dimples, football build type nigga. I didn't ask for no motherfucking characters, and I got exactly the physical type that I wanted with none of the characteristics that I needed. And now, as I grow and I learn myself, I've noticed that my needs have definitely changed from what they used to be. And I've from even past experiences, I've noticed that I need more affection and love and that security of that than like the material shit. Like, I've learned my love language in a sense. Like, I've learned what I need, and I don't want to settle for shit less than that. I don't care how many motherfucking men are out here, even though the women to men ratio is so much higher. Like
It
I
is.
my person, and I don't want to give up on having that hopeless romantic feeling and need that I want and desire. Like I refuse. I refuse.
Yeah.
Question.
Oh shit.
Cause I be listening and so therefore I be just trying to ask the questions to make us think a little deeper. So you said that like you aren't willing to settle for anything less than that. So if your God does not come with all of those things, um, are you
Oh,
saying that you don't want that person
oh,
because he
nothing.
doesn't come? All of them, all of the things you listed.
Well, the first things I listed was when I was young and shallow.
No, no, I'm talking about what you say
The
you
stuff you
want.
say you need it now.
As far
Yeah, the
as
stuff
like
you say
my
you
love
need now.
language,
Yeah.
Alexa.
okay. Not that I will not talk to him or give him the opportunity. I have to see that there is space for him to be willing to give or willing to not change, but
Right.
accommodate that. Like if I don't see any potential in him, like him wanting, willing to, like a lot. Okay, let's say this: the person I'm talking to, right? I'm not even talking to him, but the guy, he's not good
Mhm.
at communication. But
That's
I
me and I.
see that he has room for communication and knows how to communicate. So I won't not talk to him because he can't communicate, because we can learn to communicate. It just takes the right safe space to give the person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not expecting perfection. I'm not
Okay, no, I
expecting
was just
the person
asking.
to
I
have
wasn't saying that you was
everything.
expecting perfection, but I was just kind of gauging and asking so that way, like,
I need to see that he can or is
yeah,
willing, like to love me. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, you know how you just said I kind of give wholeheartedly, and I do. Like I try not to go into situations thinking about past situations. That's why I take so
Yeah,
much time in between to heal prior to trying to
yeah.
get into another relationship, because I don't want to take that bullshit from my last relationship into you, because you're
Right.
not them.
You didn't
So
do it.
it's just I don't want to date on potential, but I want to see that you are able to
Mm-hmm.
and willing to love me in that capacity. And
mhm,
even because sometimes guys will show you that they're willing to put in the work. I want to see that. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with my sisters, and they was, my younger sister said she saw a meme that said, "I don't want to date potential. You got to come already potential.
Right.
Okay, because
You
That's
got to
please
right.
come
have the
on.
potential
That's right.
You got to
in
come
Competent.
already
full
potential."
view.
Right.
Full view. I need to see the potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also like, and I guess that's part of me still growing in some spaces too, because it's like I've dated potential and they've shown improved. Like you give a nigga a little room in the safe space, they gonna bloom like a flower. You know what I'm saying? You put them in the right space to bloom, they gonna bloom. And
Unless they don't want to.
but it's figuring out if they're worthy of allowing them to bloom too, because
but you don't know that. You don't
Or
know
even
you
that
if they
don't.
initially.
want to. Because I've been in situations where I've dated potential or was with potential, and then they said, this is what I want, this is what I need. I gave it to them, and they didn't know how to go about doing whatever. Let's say it was let's say it was like a aspiration or a dream or a passion. They want to be a truck driver. The way that I'm set up, at least the way that the people that are around me, if you say this is what you want to do, I'm
That's
going to help you get
Help you
this to
do it.
make it happen.
act.
And
Yeah.
then but I'm going to ask first, like, hey, I know this, that, and the third. Is it okay if I reach out? Is this something that you need me to do, or can I help you or assist you in any kind of way, because I know this, that, and the third. If you say yes, now I'm getting on top of it. The moment I get on top of it, then I know for sure if you're potential or if you're just talking shit, because you know that this is the type of man that I like, or the type of man, because I've already told you what I wanted. So then now I say, here you go. Here's the stuff. Here's everything you need. Like, just let me know if you need help with that, or whatever, or if you need step, like, or here's who I can connect you with, and then you say, all right, cool, but I'm gonna just get to that later. No, now I know for a fact that whatever that potential that I thought you had, or the stuff that you said that you got going on, it's not true. It's not real. It was just, and the only reason why I'm speaking on that is because I've experienced it. I've experienced them in my marriage of me, of all these things that you say you want to do, that you're trying to do, but it was because you knew, for me, I didn't want no street nigga. And so you said to me, I don't want to be in the streets no more. I want to have my own business. I want to do this. I want to do that. But the way I'm set up, I know too many people. So I'm like, okay, if you want to get your trucking business, I know somebody who can help you get your license. I know somebody who can work with you to do that. And then they'll pay you while you're doing this. So you're good. I will handle all of the bills. All you got to do is do what you got to do. And I can get you a grant. And that way, you ain't got to worry about paying back no loans, doing it. Man, nah, that's just too much work. Oh, okay.
I was doing all the work.
What like what the fuck?
See, I took it as though you were saying, like, because in my mind, sometimes, like, when people don't necessarily jump on it because you're doing everything, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want to do it or that they can't do it. Sometimes it means that they're just fearful of doing it. But that's not an excuse. But also, sometimes when we're so willing to do all the work, it leaves no space or no room for them to enjoy the journey themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like we be so excited, but then we go in smoking guns, ready to tear it up. Like, yeah, baby, let's go. But then they have to, like, just like we have to prepare for the things that we want. It's the same thing. So they have to prepare their minds and their body and their hearts and their spirit for the stuff that they want to do. But then sometimes when you realize how much work it is like, well, shit, do I even really want to do this? So you do have to take that step back sometimes. So that's how I'm looking at it. Not necessarily saying that not saying that you're wrong, but sometimes it's not that they don't want it. It's just there's a fear there. I.e. Genesis situation.
I agree that there's a fear there. She came right back full circle on your ass. I agree.
Let's ask about some fuck all that. No, ma'am.
No, but I did that.
No, I mean, I agree as far as fear is concerned, because I do think that fear is a dominant factor in why a lot of people don't pursue or move forward. Oh, Lord.
She was spilling that wine.
She was. She spilled it all over. And she got a hole in her mouth.
Don't lick it up. Lick it up, girl.
I did, girl. On my leg.
Get up off of there.
It's sometimes. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. And now I'm going to talk about my situation. Go ahead.
No, but I think that fear does play a factor, but then it becomes, after a while, I mean, I'm fearful of stuff too. But if it's something that I really want to do, something that I'm passionate about, eventually I'm going to have to overcome that fear. So eventually. And the thing is, when is eventually too long?
Yeah.
Because I had a fear of leaving my situation and having I had a fear of a failed marriage, but that didn't stop me eventually, because it took me a minute to get there, but it didn't stop me from being like, okay, you know what, I have to change this dynamic for myself. I think that sometimes what happens is the fear overshadows so much that you end up just being engulfed in the fear. And so you don't take no steps forward. And the reason why I was saying about the potential part is because I think sometimes the fear plays a toll in certain situations, because in all honesty, you were lying to yourself in the first place, saying this is what you wanted or this is what you wanted to do, when it really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you was just making this persona or this person because you felt like the people around you, maybe not even the person you're dating, but the people around you, the person you're dating, the person you're involved with, this is this, in order for them to accept me, then I have to give this persona. And now y'all holding me accountable for this persona. Now I'm scared because now you're gonna see I ain't really about that life. And that's how potential goes in. And then you get into this situation and then you like, you ain't got none of this shit you said that you had or that you wanted to do. Yeah, no, I never did. It was all a lie. It was all a hoax. And I wanted to do what I needed to do to get what I needed to get. And now I got it. I don't know how to maintain it because this is not really what I want to do in the first place.
That's great.
But sometimes it's the fear of disappointing as well.
Yeah.
You know, like I've definitely done what you have done before. If somebody said this is what I want to do, I hopped on the gravy train and I tried to make it work. You know, I was like, okay, I'm behind you 10,000%. Here's my support. Here's what you could do, yada, yada, yada. And by the time you do all this stuff, they're not even used to that type of attention or love or affection. Now that you
Or
put them on
support.
spotlight, they're scared now because they don't want to. They don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to fail.
Or
You
they
know what I'm
lazy as
saying?
hell.
But you
So
know what's crazy? I've always been that way in relationships, but
yeah, me too.
I've never jumped on the bandwagon and did stuff without asking first.
Right.
Because I understand the importance of a man being a man and handling his business and doing what he needs to do. I will ask, what is it that you need of me that I can help with to get you to wherever it is you're trying to go?
Mm-hmm.
You say to me, you know, I don't know the first thing to do. Okay, I have resources. Would you like me to check in those resources? Yeah, can you do that for me? I got you. Here's what I found. Oh, thank you. I'm like, okay, here's who you need to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know how that goes. Here's the number, email, whatever. Let me know how that goes. And then whatever the next step is, I got you, whatever you need to do. So then I bring it up maybe a month or so later. Hey, did you ever talk to such and such? You never said anything to me. Oh yeah, man. I just decided I was gonna do that another time. Okay. I back off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't jump back in because it's your passion, your life, whatever it is you want to do, you're gonna do it at your own pace. I've never been the type to be like, do this, do this, do that. But if I ask and you say, can you please help me with this?
Right.
Then I'm going to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, not that I don't ask. That's a good that's a good method to go about it. But the last guy that I was with, he was telling me, see, I'm a creative, and he was telling me that he wanted to get into gaming and the whole recording and doing that. And I could see him doing that because I just know his personality. So when he moved to Chicago with me, I bought him the recording, the gaming recording thing. I bought him the game that he wanted to play 2K or some shit like that. And I presented it to him when he got here. I was like, I believe in you. Here's the stuff that you need to get started. So I left it at that. I didn't try to babysit him. I didn't try to ask him if he needed anything else. At that point, I want to see what you do with that. Are you going to learn how to use this software to do what you want to do? Because even I was in school at the time too, so I not gave him, but let him use the computer that was supplied by the school to do all your recording, to do all your gaming and all of that. But I have other stuff that I need to attend to too. We didn't have much money coming up in the thing, so I still asked him, how long do you think it may take you to get on, or how long are you going to give this? Not because I don't believe in you, is because we need money. So how long are you going to give this? He said 3 months. 3 months came. The nigga stopped doing all the recording because he felt like it was too hard and he wasn't getting on quick enough. I'm like, okay, so I need you to get a job and do this on the side. Because I'm not saying that you have to come away from this, but at the same time, our adult responsibilities are taking precedence over your gaming stuff. And he felt like, and he literally told some of his friends that I did not support him.
Mm.
How,
That's the
Sway?
way it goes.
How the hell did I not support you when I gave you a fucking place to stay, my nigga? Like you was getting kicked out of your house with your mom and them from down south. And I told you to come here and I gave you I positioned you to succeed, not succeed, but to get started with your success and what you wanted to do. And I gave you a time limit. You put that limit on yourself. And when it came to pass and you wasn't doing nothing, then what? And you had the nerve to tell people that I didn't support you?
You know how you didn't support him?
How?
Because you required him to do more than what he was willing to do.
To be a man?
That ain't even it. That nigga just was saying that to save face.
I'm just saying, like you, but at the same time, it's not even saving face. It's also the fact that he wanted her to base. He didn't want to be accountable and do the shit he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. He said this is what he wanted to do, and instead of him pushing through and doing the shit, he decided to say it's her fault.
Yeah. Because he don't want to take accountability for it now.
Well, he ain't want to take accountability.
Yeah.
All this shit. He used me as a scapegoat. And then have the nerve to come back talk about you miss our friendship. Bitch, we ain't have no friendship.
Not at all.
That's not a friend. And I can't
Friends don't do that.
I can't go back that way.
Nope. Yep.
And that's the shit that hurts me. That's why I need to take off not years, but I need to take time in between trying to even seek out another relationship, because it's like I literally was grieving during the time that I met him. And even though he was there for me emotionally sometimes, it's everything else that played a part in that. He sucked my ass dry to the point that I had anxiety whenever he was around, because I started to see the manipulation of him. Mm-hmm. And it's like I can't even have you in my place no more, because I get, the flutters in your heart and shit when you around people and shit. That's how it was. And I'm like, he tried to make up. I went across the street to Dunkin' Donuts to do some work. This nigga tried to come in with some flowers and some cards that he had one of his female best friends take him to go get. And he was expecting this, oh, thank you type shit. And I was like, oh, okay. Right. I need you to go back to your grandma's house, because I need you up out of this place. Because when it comes down to my feeling and my sanity, I need you gone. My nigga, no. Yeah.
Because ultimately, you're just doing that to get back into the good grace you want to. You don't mean it. There's no sincerity there.
First of all, you didn't even have a card in no envelope with your signature or nothing, no heartfelt message. Nigga, you handed me a blank ass card. I could sit there and go give that to somebody else. Bitch, stop playing. I'm sorry. It's not about me.
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about triggers and shit.
We did, right? That's what happened.
I'm triggered, goddammit.
I was gonna say we got to do a part 2, because we really tap into the triggers and all that other kind of stuff that we were supposed to talk about tonight. But as y'all can see,
those 2 hours went quick too.
They triggered, okay. But it's definitely a lot of conversation to be had, because there was a lot to unpack in just that scenario that you gave. Like, it's always a lot to unpack. It's always the fact that we can see it one way, and we can envision the way that we would like for it to be, or the way, instead of looking at it for what it is sometimes. And sometimes we're looking at it from our understanding and not necessarily from what the truth is. So that's what they always say, is her side, his side, and then there's the truth. Because we look at shit from our perspective, and that's the only perspective we know. That's the only part of it that we can see. Because sometimes it's too hard for us to take a step back and look at it in totality, especially if no, it ain't. It ain't. It ain't. But then instead of looking at it in totality, because we don't necessarily sit down and have conversations either when there's a misunderstanding in order to gain an understanding from the other person's side or perspective or point of view. So a lot of times it is really one of those things that you are either going to um be okay with what you know or your perspective, or you're going to be okay with sitting down and having the conversation in order to gain a further understanding. But sometimes we create them scenarios in our head, and that's what we roll with.
Yeah.
We be rolling with that shit so hard. I mean, you can't tell me no otherwise. You can't tell me no difference, Charles.
Charles.
Charles. I'm sorry.
Because of the fact, like, we've created those scenarios a lot of times, but we will have a part 2 in 2 weeks. Unless the aunties want to come back next week, but otherwise we'll do it in 2 weeks. We'll come back and finish this discussion, and we will tap into those triggers and things of that nature, and tap into some more about the part of, are women delusional? Because there are other examples that I had, but we kind of like followed the train somewhere else around the station, and so we'll come back to that the next time we have the opportunity to be in this place and gather here again. But before we go, I'm gonna give y'all a little chuckle because it tickled the shit out of me when I just saw this as I was looking for another video, and I found this one. But this will be something that just to give y'all a laugh before we get up out of here tonight.
It's a wait time. Why you just do that? It's time to wake up. It's a wait time, baby. It's wait time. Wake up time. Wake up. Good morning.
That shit might not have tickled y'all, but the way that baby pulled that goddamn bonnet off and got the scratch in the back of her head.
If you don't stop tickling me.
A grown ass woman.
Yeah, the way she scratched her head, I was like, oh, okay, little mama. She was.
That's how I feel every time I take my bonnet off.
Right. She took that bonnet off like, woo, shit. I couldn't wait to take this motherfucker off.
And then she's looking at her like,
if you why
are you talking to me?
Exactly.
Right?
Why is she talking to me? Why is she touching me? It's too early for that.
And I know it's time to wake up. That's what I'm trying to do. So why are you touching
me? Leave me be. Before I start crying in this bit.
Right. That part.
I'm agitated.
But also make sure you guys check us out. The Fat Fam is going to Jamaica, y'all. We are going to be in Jamaica September 14th through the 17th. We will be going to the Ryu Reggae all-inclusive resort in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It is a stay at 1, play at 2, adults only resort. So we will be in that thing. Make sure y'all go to the Facebook page for the Fat Girl Chronicles and click on events, and you will be able to find this event underneath that tab on the page. Or if you're in the Facebook group, the Fat Girl Chronicles podcast group, you can go to the tab at the top, the pinned post, and you'll be able to find this there as well. And then April 1st. I know I still had the Jamaica joint up there. April 1st. April 1st, we will be in New Market, Alabama, doing media coverage for the Full Figure Fierce event. This is their charity fashion show, the 11th annual charity fashion show. So make sure if you are in the area that you come say hi to me and a few other of your favorites that will be there. Make sure y'all come say hi, enjoy the show, and get a little piece of history because Full Figure Fist is out here doing its thing. They got Miss Arlisha M. I don't know if y'all know her, but she the girl that be singing on TikTok and all of that good stuff. So she will be hosting the event. Make sure y'all come out, have a good time, check it out, and all of that good stuffs. All right. But we want to thank y'all for tuning in, chopping it up with the crazy rich aunties and all of that good stuff, enjoying this conversation, and then just tapping in a little bit with us today in order to kind of let your shit off. If you was listening and you was over there, I know that's right, because I know some of y'all be doing that when y'all be listening or the conversation be flowing. So we want to thank y'all for joining us and tapping in the conversation with us on tonight. Once again, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. So y'all know what I always say, whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of this week, don't do it with your half ass, do it with your whole ass, y'all.
Yes.
Hey, we up out this thing. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Shout out
and
to
we
the
will
mamas
see
that was
y'all.
watching. Shout out.
We will see y'all in 2 weeks.
And we are.
Trust. Dependency. Love. Respect. Passion. Pain. Intimacy. Pleasure. I sit here stuck inside my head, remembering you and I analyze all those things you said.